Hey there, welcome back to another episode with your girl, Kelly Jackson, former talent acquisition leader and recruiter. Today, I wanted to tap into your digital online presence. Whether you have one or not, you should. You absolutely should. I did a video and I was telling a story about when we had to terminate this employee. So we had him in the office, right? And I was sitting in a chair, and then he was sitting next to me in a chair, and then there was a desk, and then the HR business partner was on the other side who was giving him, telling him about why he's being terminated because he was in jail. And so after she finished, he didn't say anything, right? I was sitting there as a witness, and he didn't say anything. She was going through her spiel, and then at the end, she was like, "Do you have any questions?" And he said, "Well, what are you going to do about your coworker?" So she looked at me and I looked at her because we both assumed that he was talking about one of us. And she said, "Well, what do you mean?" And he named the person. He said, "Yeah, she was in jail yesterday." And so she said, "Well, if there's something that we find any about it," she said, "if there's something about any employee, right, that works here, that we found out that they were in jail, we will handle it the same way." Something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing. Can't remember her exact words, but basically she was trying to collect herself and say, because we were in shock, right? And so she basically said, any employee that is, in jail, she didn't say it like I'm saying it, but in jail, we handle all things the same way, right? So we didn't say anything. So we wrapped up. He got his paperwork and everything. He left. Let me tell you, when that door closed, when he left, we both got over. Like, I went on her side of the desk and we looked up because you can go to mugshots.com. And so, sure enough, she was there. And we was looking at each other. We was tripping. I mean, we were in that office tripping out. She's like, "Oh my gosh, what we gonna do?" Like, we were didn't have our HR hats on then, of course, right? And so we was like, oh my gosh, because it's the interesting part is, let's say this was on a Tuesday. I don't remember what day it was, but like on a Monday, like the day before, we didn't hear from her. And because we were so busy doing our jobs in HR, we didn't think anything of it. But I remember people asking, like, have you heard from so and so? Have you heard from so? And you go on with your day until then it dawned on us, and we started sitting there kind of, backtracking. It was like, you know what? She wasn't here yesterday, but she said this happened because later on she had called, and I think she said her car had broke down or something. So she came in, and they asked her about it, and sure enough, she had, and they ended up having to let her go. So, I shared this story when I did the video on other social media platforms. I was sharing it because anybody can Google you. Like, he Googled. I'm thinking that he was looking for himself to see, is anybody going to find me? Is anybody going to know? Let me Google and see. And when he went on there to see if he was there, he saw her. So he also probably thought that he could use the fact that she was on there as a bargaining chip, right? Like in his back pocket, like, oh, so if you're gonna do this, that means you're gonna have to do this. You know what I'm saying? So, and sure enough, boy, we were shocked. We were shocked. And I'm gonna have to talk about that incident because it's tripped out all the way. But I'll talk about that in another episode. But again, the point I'm making is that, he went to Google, right, and to see. I'm sure, like I said, he was looking for himself and found her. So anybody you can Google, right? You can Google yourself, and you can see what's out there. The interesting thing about it, though, is that if there's nothing out there, as crazy as it may seem, hiring managers, decision makers, whomever, they're going to have a perception of you either way. So you may say, you know what? I don't believe in being online. I don't want to be out there. I want nobody to know my business. I'm private. I'm an introvert. All these amas. But at the end of the day, this digital landscape that we're in now, everyone needs a digital footprint of some sort. And the cool thing about that is you control the narrative, you control what's out there about you. So, for instance, if you Google me, the first thing that comes up is my LinkedIn profile, just the link to my LinkedIn profile. And so, this is what I'm sharing with you when someone is looking, or if you want to, you know, people that join my program, right? One of the things I say is that if you want to make yourself like a magnet and attract opportunities to you, you can do that. There's certain things you have to do, and one of which is having that digital, really, that polished, buttoned up, solid digital presence. And this is one of the things that we help you with to become that magnet. Because for a lot of us, it's not that we want to be online all day, looking for another employer or job or somewhere to transfer our skills into, another type of work or another, scope of work that we do. It's great when they come to you, right? When recruiters are in your inbox or giving you a call, or decision makers reaching out to you. That's even better, because then you're not doing all that manual work in terms of the mental, the thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes it could be mentally draining. That's what I'm trying to say. Trying to figure out what to do next, or what does next look like for me. And when you have opportunities coming to you, that's a good position to be in, because you then can decide, what do I want to do? Okay, tell me a little bit about what you have, what your opportunity looks like. And then you can go to the next person. Well, what does your opportunity look like? And then you can decide. Right? You're not in a desperate mode. You're in a position of power where your skill set obviously is needed, is in demand. You have people reaching out to you, and it's a great position to be in, to be able to, select who you want to even have a conversation with, so they can sell you on what they have, what their opportunity is. But the only way for someone to find you is to have that digital footprint, to have that digital presence out there. And again, I talked about this somewhere, a video or something, about first impression. When me and you meet, right, you're gonna have an impression of me, right? I'm gonna have an impression of you. That's just a human nature. Same thing online. If you're not out there, that's an impression. And if you are, and it's really lackluster, or there's nothing there that expounds upon your level of expertise or your knowledge base, that speaks to you as well. It says whether or not you care about what it is you do and what do you have to offer, because somebody may have referred you, and the first thing people are going to do is go to LinkedIn. And if you don't have some type of presence out there, specifically, like I said, a polished presence out there, then again, there's that first impression. So you want to have a digital presence online. And again, that's something that we do help our clients with. If that's something you need assistance with, you can go to attractopportunities.com. That's why I called it that, because, and especially, you probably always hear me say this, well, at least right now, I mean, the market is never, like, I'm serious, never been ripe like it is right now for opportunities. There is more demand out there than there are people. Everything economically has fallen or increased, like the rate, the interest rate, but the stock market went down. Everything else is going to wherever, but the job market it's a phenomenon right now. There are more jobs being added than there are people. This is the time So, with the fact that you have a digital online presence that's polished, that's buttoned up, that's solid, that speaks to your knowledge base, that can share what you have to offer, the value that you have to add, the achievements that you had throughout your career history, you have the market that's ripe. You have a 3.7% unemployment rate. It's low, the lowest rate in 52 years. All the conditions are right for you to get the opportunity that you want. It's just like my mom was crazy about plants. Crazy. She had this plant since I can remember. She called her baby. And I mean every the condition was right for this plant to stay alive as long as I have been alive. That's how long this plant stayed alive. She would talk to the plant. It would be always in front of a big window, right? Water, I mean, just everything. The conditions were so right. The plant was so happy that it thrived. That's the same for you. The conditions right now are so right. There is no reason right now. You just don't want it. You know what I mean? That's all I can say about that. You just don't want it. Because if all you had to do was get your presence right, and somebody can assist you with that, and you wanted to make a move because you know at this stage in your life, it's time for next for you, whatever that looks like, then that means you just don't want it, because there has never, and I'm going to close with this, there has never been a time like this before. So make yourself Googleable. I don't know if that's a word. Make yourself Googleable. Googleable. Make yourself findable. Make sure you have a digital online presence. If you need assistance with that, go right now to attractopportunities.com. This is your host, Kelly Jackson. I'll see you on the next episode.